Art heals. When I'm doing these, I'm at peace with myself. It slows me down and gives me a time to think and meditate while I'm doing these. It's 6 p.m. in LinPRinP world, you guys. Welcome back to another episode of Laradiji's LinPRinP. My name is Laraddiji. I'm an American lifestyle vlogger who loves living a peaceful life, and I love talking about situations we might find ourselves in. It's the last section of Laraddij's LinPRinP, the LinPRinP art rate things, where I show you guys the artwork I'm working on. And this one I called Row Your Boat. Row your boat. When I start all my designs, it starts on a graph book, and here I am trying to put down the pattern together on this graph book. I've done this ever since I was a teenager, when we first moved here from Nigeria. I had a little bit of time when I was depressed about the change in our living situation, where we moved from Nigeria to New York. I felt at this time, I don't know why I felt like I had no one to talk to. I was just 14 years old. We were separated from my parents for about 5 years, and I felt like there was a disconnect. I was missing my friends. I had just left my grandparents, and I had just left my grandmother. Actually, I just left my grandma back home, and we just reconnected back with our parents, and it felt like there was a disconnect in our relationship. So in mending that relationship, I felt like I needed something to do in between to kind of make sense of it all. And that's when this graphics, I don't even know what to call them, graphic designs started. I honestly did not know that there was a career in graphic design at the time. Maybe or maybe not. I don't think I would have gotten into that, actually, because this was just a hobby for me. We started using graph paper in high school. I started high school at 10th grade. So we were doing some projects that had to do with graph paper, and I was able to get graph paper. And one day I just started drawing things, connecting the dots and putting lines and things on paper, and it grew. Now I have about more than 200 designs, actually, that I have saved up over the years. I think my inspiration definitely lowered when I was in nursing school, and then when I got married and started having kids. And all of a sudden, I believe last year or early this year, I think last year, it started coming back to me again. And I was like, you know what? I think I want to revisit this, even though I have no idea what to do with it. And I was like, oh, let me see if maybe I still got it. And I realized that after a while of just holding the pencil or pen in my hand, I would start drawing something, and then before you know it, I felt like it got sparked up again. And if you're following this channel, you'll realize that I started painting. I started colors, painting with colors, and I decided, maybe I should start painting these things on canvases. And that's when this started. So I got canvases. They're not that expensive. These are actually $1 for just that one is just $1. And I was excited that it's kind of inexpensive. And then I have this twine that I'm using here to make like a graph, sorts of graph paper on the canvas, so that way I can put those designs on the canvas and then paint them out. Not all of the designs that I have done in the past are able to come out the way that this one is going to come out, but some of them do have the same pattern. Once I have the pattern down packed, it's easy to duplicate. So if I was to make this design now on a bigger canvas, it's very easy to do. I can always duplicate it. Here I am putting the twines together to I've already measured out how many lines that I'm going to need with the length and the breadth. So that's what I'm doing here, putting all the lines together, making sure that it's going to fit. How I'm putting this together to hold it together is using the tape individually to hold it, and then later on I'm going to use tape to hold everything together. Then I'm going to flip the canvas back and forth until I'm able to hold it down enough for me to put the sketch on the canvas. So this is what I'm doing here. I'm transferring the canvas. Because the graph paper is kind of tiny, sometimes I'll get confused on what comes next. So that's why I'm like following it line by line, just like an artist does. Sometimes artists use these graph lines to figure out the placement of the eyes, the placement of the nose. You know, it kind of breaks the art down into little pieces until you can now see the big picture. So this is what I'm doing here in this part of the video. This is the end product. The sketch is done. So usually when I take off the twine, I still have to finish up those lines, you know, whatever I've missed, and try to go over it again to make sure I haven't missed anything. And then I get out the paint and I start painting. So here I am painting the sections of this channel. There are 12 sections in this channel, just like there are 12 hours in a clock, right? From 1 p.m. to 1 a.m. So we are in the LinPRinP Art Rate Things. That's the 6 p.m. section of this channel. And I hope in the future you'll be able to buy some of these designs if you're interested in them. You know, I'm working on putting a website together where these can be accessible if you wanted to support the channel. So, yellow is a LinPRinP, the main section of Laradiji's LinPRinP, and orange is the life section, living in fast express. Blue is the freestyle section, first save that life section of Laraddiji LinPRinP, and pink is a section where I talk about what's going on with my kids. These are all different aspects of my life. I call them the planets that I revolve around. The green section is the DIY section of my channel, where I go over something that I've done, and all of this is under the umbrella of living a peaceful life. Art can heal. Art heals. When I'm doing these, I'm at peace with myself. It slows me down and gives me a time to think and meditate while I'm doing these. That's why I love doing these. So the green section is the DIY, do-it-yourself section of my channel, and then the cyan color, the light blue color, greenish blue color, is this section of the channel, the art part of my life. And then we go into the purple section, which is the laugh and fall flat section of my channel, where I try to make you guys laugh. I don't think I've been successful. You can check out the channel to see if maybe you'll be the first person to laugh at my jokes. And then we get into the red section of my channel, which is the fashion section of my channel. And then we get into the brown section of my channel, where I go over what I do with my hair on a monthly basis. And then we go into the gray section of my channel, where I talk about makeup, must keep up peace, how I'm trying to keep up peace in my life, and how I'm inspiring you to do the same. And the white section of my channel, God is in control section of my channel, is basically tied to LinPRinP section of my channel. This channel will not be here if not for God, right? So white is how white is what depicts that. God is pure. So white, I use that as God is in control. And then the black section of the channel is the monthly review section, where I go over something important that I accomplished during the month. Maybe some a place I went with my family. And then I was thinking here, what do I do with the rest of the symbols here? So I decided to paint them with, I decided to paint more of them. Then later on, I decided to highlight them because I felt like it was still plain looking. So I decided to highlight them more with a black marker. And I definitely love how this turned out. This is beautiful. This is awesome. I definitely love how this turned out. If you were to have this in your house, would you hang it in a landscape mode or in a portrait mode? Let me know in the comment section how you would like it, in the portrait mode or in the landscape mode. Thank you guys for watching. If you are new here, do consider subscribing for more automatic notification of when I drop a new video. My name is Laraddiji. Once again, if you want to join the LinPRinP family, do hover over the heart in the right lower corner and click the subscribe button. Join the LinPRinPers. I'm on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter. If you want to follow me, you can do that as well. And at the end of the day, let's love our neighbors as ourselves and remember to rest in peace. We all need to be living in peace. Stay blessed, you guys. Bye. You'll see me in my next one. You'll see me in my next one. See me in my next one. You'll see me in my next one. Bye-bye.